This video will talk about the new ways to add and adjust and delete information from the final parts report. And this is in version 15.9 of WinBidPro. This is quite different than the older versions because you used to be able to just delete a line, change a quantity, and you could print it out and everything's great. But then as soon as you close that report and reopen it, any of those changes would be lost and all the calculated information would come back. So all this information has been calculated from parts and settings in your framing systems, doors, door frames. All those configurations determine what parts are here, and your elevations determine the quantities. So if any of that needs to be changed, it should really be changed back in those configurations in framing systems, etc. But a lot of times you'll want to make those changes here because it's quick and easy. So instead of letting you delete something and having it magically reappear, we want to track what's happening and make adjustment records that show what kind of changes have been made. So for example, if I want this butt hinge to disappear and not print out, I can either hit my delete key on the keyboard, and be careful with that because it doesn't give you a prompt to confirm it, or I can hit remove line item. So oh, I forgot to click on the butt hinge, but you get the idea. So if I delete something, it's adding a line, it's bold, and that's an adjustment line. So it's a manual adjustment. It has an offsetting quantity of a negative, so the net result is 0. So that means when I print this out, since it is a 0 quantity, it won't show up on the printout. Now I can actually adjust, or I can edit any adjusted record I've added. So let's say I wanted to change this to 150, or yeah, I can make it a positive or a negative. So I can make that minus 150. So that's going to leave me with 45 feet of gasket. So it lets you adjust anything that you've added. It also lets me remove anything that I've added. And you can still add things. So let's say I just want to add whatever part, and I can right click here and get to my parts list, and just any old part in here I can click on and add to my report. Now it doesn't let me change any of the quantities or prices here, but as soon as I add it, it does. And remember, anything we've added or adjusted, it's going to show up in bold and have a manual adjustment status over here. And then I can go in here, click on that, and change the quantity if I need to. So that's basically the main differences. We're giving you a way to see and track what changes you've made to this final parts, but the printout is actually going to show the net result that you want. So whether it's something removed, something quantity changed, or something added. So just to recap, the remove line item, if you click on a calculated part and either hit your delete key or hit remove line item, it's going to add an adjusted part that nullifies that part, so it won't print out. But if I take something that's been manually added or adjusted and hit the delete key, it's actually going to remove it. If I didn't click inside that field, it's actually going to remove it from the list. So the remove line item has a couple different functions, and it's good to understand what those are. That's about it. Thanks.